And welcome back to The Price of Business. I'm your host, Chris Kelso. You know, we have a great last segment here. We have one of my good personal friends and a fellow radio host as well, Bill Knapik. Bill, how you doing?
Doing great, Chris. How are you?
Doing very well, thank you. And for all those listeners who have not heard you before, let us know a little bit about who you are and what you do.
Well, Chris, I work at Stewart Title, and very glad to do that and develop business in the Post Oak and the Heights locations. In addition, we've done something new at Stewart Title for a title company, that is, in the last year and a half or so. We have our own radio show called Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title that airs on Saturday at 1 o'clock on 100.7 FM. So it's really a great informational piece and resource for realtors and anybody in the real estate profession or even homeowners that just want to find out about what's going on in Houston real estate.
And, you know, and Houston real estate is hot right now, isn't it?
It is very hot. It hasn't really slowed down much. I guess we would say it has more of a balance this year than the blistering year last year and exciting year last year. But, yeah, I think it's a little bit more balanced this year, but we're still very busy, and we appreciate that, the pace of business right now.
I would thoroughly agree. You know, one of the things we're talking about between the break is how do you select a good title company? Obviously, I know you, and I know Stewart from a long time, very good, reputable company, and you and I have a personal relationship, so that definitely benefits a lot. But for the average individual who's out there, who's listening to the show right now, and wants to know how to select a good title company, what would be some of those selection criteria that you'd lose?
Well, I would say there are three main things and one extra thing that I'm adding now based on the climate of business and the climate of financial businesses in general. Number one, certainly pick, and I think this is where most realtors and real estate professionals stop, but I think it's a very important point. We want to choose a title company where we have someone that we trust, someone that's going to communicate with us properly, efficiently, on time, and all that, and someone that is we can count on, and have that great communication with that person. So that's very important. And a lot of times, real estate professionals, I see this, they have a lot of friends in the title business, and they pick someone they like, and that's very important. So pick someone you like that communicates well with you, that you trust. Number one. Now, that's where I think a lot of people stop. Now, at Stewart Title, we have over 30 locations here in Houston, and we have great people that will be your friends and that will communicate well with you. But again, that's where a lot of people stop. I think there's at least two other main ones and one extra one that could be considered very important as well. Number two, pick a company, especially with title insurance. Sometimes the problem doesn't come until 5 years down the road or 10 years down the road. So pick a title company that's going to be around for a while. Stability.
Yep. Stewart
Title. Over 121 years of service, and we started right down the road in Galveston, Texas, which I think is just crazy. 121 years, a guy named Mako Stewart started in Galveston. That building still stands, and we've grown to an international company. So stability is super important, I think.
I would absolutely agree.
And, what about financial strength? Now, this is another thing that when someone talks about a title company, they don't say, pick a financially strong. Well, they don't think to say that. Now, we are strong, not because I say we're strong or that anyone at Stewart says we're strong. We're strong financially because independent third-party companies like Demotech, AM Best, Fitch Ratings, they rate us, and they rate all financial companies like A minus, B, and even below that. So
right.
We're fortunate at Stewart. We're all in by these companies. We're rated in the A's and even an A minus on one of the companies.
And for those who don't realize, those ratings are extremely important. That's the cost a lot of times of what it costs to borrow money, but more importantly, it's the rating associated with how you're handling the money that you have right now, how your financial capacity is. More importantly is how strong you are in utilizing that financial capacity.
Absolutely. And I would add also that on our website, we have a spectacular website. There's a lot of great websites out there, but I've recently revisited ours, and we have some great things. And right there, as far as financial strength, now it's not very obvious, but if you look at the Stewart.com homepage, like in the bottom right-hand corner, you will see a place to look at our financial ratings. We're proud of them. They're there for all to see, and I don't think I've seen another title company do that. Financial ratings.
I would absolutely agree. And and I will tell you, the individuals that you work with, the closers over at Stewart, incredible individuals, great individuals to work with. Not only, individuals like yourself and Lynn Stryker from the business development standpoint, but also the closers, the people who make things happen, your processors, your funders, your escrow officers. Everyone I've ever met and done business with at Stewart is always top-notch and first class.
Well, thank you for that, Chris. We appreciate it. We work hard for that. I will submit one last thing that we're really focusing on even more, and I think all companies are, and that is security. We hear so much about identity theft and things like that. Well, at Stewart, we're taking our existing security protocols to even higher levels. Like, for example, this one gets people, we can talk about all the great things, but I was at a presentation and I said, we've got something now called a clean desk policy. And the guy goes, hey, I really like that clean desk policy, which means that we don't leave if we leave our desk either overnight to go home from work or even for an extended period to take a break or whatever, we do not leave important financial documents on the desk with Social Security numbers, work history, financial information. So we take that very seriously, as we do even with secure email. So we're taking the security protocols up another notch this year.
Well, and I absolutely agree. And, it's one of those things. It's an important industry. We do a lot of stuff right there, a lot of personal financial information out there. And again, Stewart is top notch. One of the things I'm going to get off a little subject here right now is, the radio, we're a big family when it comes to radio. And so one of the things when I caught you here today, you actually are going to be recording a show a little bit later on, and you have a guest you brought in that we figured let's bring him into the price of business.
Indeed. Let's bring now, and let me just set it up like this. We do have we talked about the Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title at 1:00. In addition, I host another radio show this weekend and every Saturday at 4:00 called Successful Living with Bill Knapik, where I talk to not just real estate, but I talk a variety. And my guest this weekend, it happens to be in the studio, as you mentioned, Chris. His name is Dr. Ralph Mancini. Ralph, how are you?
Scared speechless.
Scared speechless. Now, he's not only is Ralph a great doctor, but he is also, you can hear him on our show, Successful Living with Bill Knapik, this Saturday at 4 and then on the archives. But Ralph, tell us about, as you're a doctor, what is the field of medicine that you practice?
It's called physical medicine and rehabilitation. Should I go on?
Yeah, absolutely.
Give us a flavor of that, Ralph.
We deal with people with disabilities. These tend to be of a neurological and a musculoskeletal type. It can include chronic disabling pain as well. I'm sort of like an orchestra conductor, directing an orchestra, many parts. We have various therapists, social workers, psychologists, and so forth. We work with the people in a fairly holistic fashion, help them become as good as they can be after their disability so that they can experience a normal lifestyle as possible.
And then you also, from what I understand, as well are and if I'm not mistaken, Bill, you said you are known as a singing doctor.
In some circles, we've called Ralph the singing doctor. Right, Ralph?
Yes.
Sinatra is your thing.
Well, he's one of the people that's been most influential, but I like to think that I sing most all kinds of music, but that's my weak spot. It's really the strong spot in music.
You know what's pretty interesting, and I'll say this, is we've seen anything in life sort of has that way of repeating, right? We've really seen some of the 50s and 60s, the old Rat Pack. That's really had a resurgence here in the new age. We're seeing a lot of that come back, even with the youth now getting back into listening to some of those older tunes, some of the older ways of doing it. The old days of dressing up in the suit and tie, going out. We're seeing that resurgence again.
Wonderful.
And and the fact that you're singing and like that, I think that does a lot to it.
My thoughts about music: if you can't whistle the tune, you can't hum it. It may not be lasting. Most of what we hear from that era, they're songs that are very familiar. They have a melody, and they catch you.
Right.
Today, there seems to be a great deal of sameness to the music.
I would agree. I mean, one of the things you see, though, is individuals like Justin Timberlake, like Michael Bublé, they're bringing back a lot of that type of singing that you saw way back when. The suit and tie that came out with Justin Timberlake or Michael Bublé. It's that renaissance, that new wave of it's a way of providing a little bit of the past with the flair of the present right now. So I think it's all good stuff right there. And you're going to be on Bill's show. Bill, when's your show airing again?
That's going to air at 4 o'clock on Saturday. And, of course, you can go to the KKHT website and hear all the shows. We've had over 20-some now, and we talk to great individuals like Ralph. We talk. Ralph will be the first doctor we've had, and certainly the first singing doctor on our show. But we've had people in the arts, we've had restaurant people, and of course real estate professionals too. So there's a lot of different things going on.
And then to finish out again, you're with Stewart Title. One of the things, where do you see the market going here over the next couple of years? Where do you see real estate headed?
I think it's going to be here in Houston. It's going to be very exciting. Of course, Stewart, we're all over the United States, even an international company. But I think it's going to be very strong based on indicators from people way smarter than me. I go by the feel, Chris, when I see the activity out there. But I look at people like Dr. Ted C. Jones, and he's given us a good readout for the next year or so. And so I think that's going to be good. I mean, if we could be a steward of your real estate transaction, you can call me anytime. Certainly in the Post Oak Galleria area in the Heights at 713-210-9767. Again, 713-210-9767. We'll be a steward of your real estate transaction. And if you sing, that'd be great, too.
And if you sing, it's even better. And then how can we listen to some of your past shows?
Well, at Stewart, you can go to the Stewart, great archive. We had great individuals on, like Tom Ziegler, even Stefan Swanepoel at Stewart.com/Houston. We've even had the mayor of Houston on last year. But again, Stewart.com/Houston. You could check us out or go to the Successful Living Show at KKHT.com.
That is Bill Knapik with Stewart Title. I am Chris Kelso with Willoughby Mortgage, filling in for Kevin Price at The Price of Business. You can hear this show and one of 1,000 others at www.priceofbusiness.com. Tune in. We appreciate y'all being available with us today. Until next time, we are out.